What's going on, everybody? It's my name, Brett James, a.k.a. BJ. Today with the first ever podcast called Don't Overthink It, and I got my boy Darien Chill here with me today from Chill Takes. Darien, welcome to the show.
What's good, man? I appreciate you for having me on. I'm excited to be here, excited to pod with you. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and like I said, this is the first podcast ever, man, so I'm super excited for this journey. You know, I'll put all the socials for my socials and Darien's socials down in the comments so that you guys can go check him out and check myself out as well. If you guys don't already know me on YouTube, I will link to that there as well. But today, man, we got some interesting topics today. I'm going to go over the topics we're going to be discussing today, and then we'll actually dive right into it. We're going to start off with the NFL first, though. We got our playoff predictions. Week 18 just finished up, so we'll be doing that. Talking about the Miami Dolphins firing head coach Brian Flores just after 3 seasons. That was a shocker, a big one in the NFL community. And then the Jaguars' next head coach, me and Darien are both from Jacksonville. So definitely an interesting one we got going on there. And then transitioning into the NBA, we'll be talking about the return of Klay Thompson and Kyrie Irving, which one's going to have a bigger impact, and how that could potentially be a Golden State-Brooklyn Nets NBA Finals matchup that we could be seeing in the 2022 Finals. We got the Lakers' struggles continuously sitting around a 500 team, and then we got Ben Simmons and all the drama going on with him. February 10th is the NBA trade deadline, so a lot of work to be going on with Daryl Morey and the 76ers. So let's start off in the NFL community, man. We got our playoff predictions and matchups. Going to the Super Bowl, Week 18 just finished up. What a hell of a year we just had this year in the NFL season, man. So tell me, man, who's your Super Bowl prediction? Who do you got coming out of the AFC and NFC? And then we'll kind of go down week by week.
Yeah, I mean, this NFL season was really good. I'm gonna start by saying that this might have been the most exciting NFL season we had in a while. I mean,
Completely
it
agree.
seems like every primetime game that was on TV came down to the wire, you know. And Week 18 definitely delivered a lot of playoff implications, and it was good to see. But coming out the NFC as of right now, I think they're getting healthy, and I like what they're doing on the field. And I mean, Rodgers and stuff like that, what he's doing. So, I mean, it's his last hoorah, so what they say. So, I got Green Bay coming out the NFC. And then out of the AFC, I mean, Kansas City went to the Super Bowl, 2 years in a row now? And then they've been to the AFC Championship 3 years in a row.
3 years in a row, right?
Yeah.
If it weren't for a flip coin at the end of the game, Tom Brady gets the ball and beats him, So.
Or that Frank Clark offsides.
Oh, offsides too. Yeah. I forgot about the offsides too in the fourth quarter.
Bunch of crazy stuff. But anyways, I mean, they're the kings of the AFC right now. Now, it is interesting that the playoffs doesn't run through Arrowhead.
Exactly.
It runs through Music City this year. So that's going to be interesting. Derrick Henry.
We're not fans of Tennessee, by
We're not.
We're not fans of Tennessee. Nope.
We're not fans of Tennessee. But I got to respect it because I like Mike Vrabel. I think he's a hell of a coach.
He is. He's easily Coach of the Year candidate. I think he should win it.
Most definitely.
Especially with everything going on.
Talent offensively with Julio, AJ, Derrick Henry's healthy now.
Yeah. Deontay Foreman picked up the slack.
What?
Boy picked it up. He's a poor man's Derrick Henry, but he sure as hell balled out.
So it's going to be interesting to see because, and another thing too, before we continue on with this, we've never seen Patrick Mahomes play on the road.
Exactly.
In the
That's
postseason.
Something a lot of people aren't talking about.
Yeah. So we'll see. But I got Kansas City and Green Bay, and they got Green Bay being the winner.
That's actually funny because, before we actually continue on with this, me and Darien did not discuss any of our, predictions about heading into this podcast. I gave him the topics. I said, hey, let's talk about this. But, none of this is scripted. This is all just off rip. And, I got Kansas City and Green Bay both coming out too, I honestly want to say it's Tennessee. And that's not my hatred for Tennessee being a Jaguars fan. A.J. Brown getting back, Julio getting back. They got that week of rest with that first round bye. And Ryan Tannehill, I mean, I've never been a believer in this guy. I mean, he's always been a solid guy. But, I mean, he really, through the 9 games I think Derrick Henry's missed, they're 6-3. And Tannehill picked up the slack, Deontay Foreman. They're going to get Henry back. He's back on the practice field. But, I mean, he's got another week of rest and preparation, man. So, I mean, it's definitely going to be tough. I could definitely see Tennessee, losing in Nashville. But, man, I don't know. There's just something about Patrick Mahomes, man. Whenever you need him to do, even though the Honey Badger and Chris Jones on that defensive side of the ball, I mean, they've done their thing. But I just can't root against Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I know we haven't seen him on the road, but just, I mean, him and Rodgers are the 2 best quarterbacks and Brady, like, at all times when healthy. So, I mean, it's just hard for me to go against him. And then Green Bay getting that 1 seed, I think that's going to help them out tremendously this year. I understand Aaron Rodgers feels like he's immune to getting past the NFC Championship game. 1-3 in the last 4, I think. I think he's 1-3 in the last NFC Championship games. And, that was a heartbreaker. Me sitting down on my couch last year watching that Buccaneers game, man.
He had it. I mean, Brady didn't play all that well that game.
No, I think he had like two or three interceptions.
Yeah. And they couldn't capitalize off none of those scores.
I don't think they got a single point off a turnover.
That fourth down play to end the game when Rodgers could have possibly ran for the touchdown.
It was third down. Third down, but Matt LaFleur kicked it on fourth. And they still would have needed a touchdown. That makes zero sense. Yeah. But it's in the past,
I don't know if you heard, but they said Rodgers is like really about this, his COVID beliefs and stuff like that. Vaccine beliefs. Yeah. And he's saying that if the Super Bowl, if it's in California, you have to be vaccinated to play anything indoors in California. He was saying that if they making him do it, he's going to boycott the Super Bowl.
That is the most utterly ridiculous thing ever. Aaron Rodgers, I respect Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. Yeah. Right? Well, we got 7 rings. Could potentially make it 8.
I hope not.
I hope not either. I'm so tired of seeing that guy winning. Yeah. But Aaron Rodgers always been. Him and Brett Favre were my 2 favorite quarterbacks growing up, just watching. And I'm not even a Packers fan. I have zero affiliation. But the respect I have for Aaron Rodgers on and off the field, he's a good man. He's a good man. But, when he was deliberately deceitful with this whole COVID thing, man, it really ticked me and a lot of people off too because, I don't care how talented you are. And it goes with AB too. If you're not above the law, and I don't like people like that. And I saw the whole thing where he was potentially talking about boycotting, and it really resonated with me. Like, is this man really going to sit here and potentially waste a Super Bowl, which he has worked his entire career for, to get a second one, to enter into that potentially GOAT conversation, especially if he gets a third one with another team maybe? Yeah. It just... Oh, my God. If Rodgers were to do anything as ridiculous as that, that would just drive me up a wall.
I don't know, man. I don't... Hopefully, we won't have to cross that bridge.
I hope
not. Hopefully, they just but California's pretty strict right now, so we'll see.
And I mean, we'll definitely get into that COVID thing, especially with Kyrie and Klay Thompson too. Yeah. We'll get into that when we get into the NBA. But man, if Green Bay is representing the NFC and it's in SoFi because I know they're talking about Arlington too, if in case they have to move it from SoFi for COVID reasons. Man, that would just be. I couldn't imagine seeing Jordan Love in there and Aaron Rodgers just boycotting. It's a wrap.
Jordan Love will boycott too?
No, I'm just saying. But Jordan Love would have to be playing in the Super Bowl if Aaron Rodgers wanted
to
boycott.
I got you.
If he wanted to boycott that bad and cost his team a Super Bowl and be that selfish, because at that point you're just being selfish. Yeah. I don't care. I'm pro-choice. You want to get a vax, go get a vax. If you don't, cool. But at that point, if you really gonna waste an opportunity to get a Super Bowl while y'all team made it there, blood, sweat, tears, sacrifice, man, you just being selfish at that point. That's where I'm at with it. But so I mean that's our playoff really matchups. Any upsets you see? Any big ones?
So I'm looking at yours. You have KC and Buffalo in the AFC Championship, and you have Green Bay and Arizona. Man, I'm looking at Dallas, man. I think they can make a run. I wouldn't be surprised if they get into the Super Bowl.
They better not, because I got $200 on it, so I'll tell you that. They better not. Shout out my boy Omega.
I'm going to give you a fan perspective on it, and also like a
realist.
A realist, you know what I'm saying? So fan perspective, right? Now, I mean, I'm not all about sports conspiracy, nothing like that, but if you look at what's happening right now with championships, all these big-time winners, the Braves and the Georgia Bulldogs, they haven't won championships in years.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So Dallas has won one. And almost
25 years.
1995, yeah. It's been a long time.
Last time they even made it to an NFC championship
game. So I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones can finally get him one, or at least get there. Yeah. Now, when it comes to the actual, realists, when it comes to, the analytics and stuff like that, and the talent, this team is very talented.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I think they're number one in... they're number one in offense, number one in offensive yards. They beat Tampa Bay by 1 yard. They are tied for number one with Indianapolis in terms of turnover differential. Number one in takeaways, number one in interceptions. There is just so much talent on this roster. But I always come down to just feels like the pressure always gets to them, And I know I got Arizona in an NFC championship game with Green Bay, right? I'm not, honestly, I think Arizona's a pretender. I'm actually not really high on that, even though I have them. I think it's just the favorable matchups. They've always matched up well against the Rams. They've beaten them twice this season. And they actually even beat them with Colt McCoy.
Yeah,
as you see, back on I think that was like November 7th. And then they would get a second round matchup with San Francisco. San Francisco's been balling out. I think San Francisco has the recipe to beat Dallas. I'm not even telling you that because I have $200 on Dallas not making the NFC Championship game, so I better not lose that bet. But no, man, just so much talent on Dallas's roster. On paper, they should win the Super Bowl. Them and Tampa Bay should be in there. But it feels like the pressure always gets to them, and even if they get to the divisional round, I don't see them getting past a Rams or an Arizona once they got to go and play a top team like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, like I said, they got a talent. They got a 4,000-yard passer in Dak, a 1,000-yard rusher in Zeke.
Broke the franchise record for most Cowboys passing touchdowns in a
Past
single
Tony
season.
Romo.
37.
Yep. They got a 1,000-yard receiver and CeeDee Lamb. They got the recipe. But my thing is, and we're gonna talk about this with head coaching candidates for the Jaguars. Yeah. Kellen Moore. He's actually my top 4 candidate. My homeboy talked me into it. Shout out to my boy Tony from my podcast, Chill Takes and TC3 podcast. But
links will be in the bio.
But he was telling me, man, he's like, yeah, man, this team is talented and stuff like that. Kellen Moore's done a great job this year. He could be the next Sean McVay. But at times this season, he has been, like, he calls some dull games. So
absolutely. You see Kansas City, they put up 9 points. Versus Denver, they were down 30-0 at one point. Yeah. In Jerry's World, they were sitting there at AT&T.
Even the Arizona game. Yep. They had times to score in the red zone. They couldn't capitalize. Yep. Against the Raiders, too, on Thanksgiving.
That's right. I forgot about that game. So, that was a big
upset.
Loss.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why the Raiders in the playoffs.
Exactly. And I mean, Vegas pulled out 2 incredible wins these last 2 weeks, man. Indianapolis and what was that, 32-35 overtime game versus the Chargers, man. I feel bad for them Chargers fans. I after they lost to Houston, man, I was like, ain't no way they recovering from this. They got blown out.
Staley's
he might be gone, bro.
I think he's gonna stay, but
I think he's gonna stay too. He got one more chance because Herbert, man. I mean, that guy is fun. I mean, he is something else. Yeah. Him and Joe Burrow. Yeah. I mean,
Rex Ryan said it best on Get Up.
What'd he say?
He said, "You have a franchise quarterback, bro. It shouldn't be that hard to make it to the postseason."
Yeah, it's facts though.
I mean, you have a talented team. I know the defense isn't talented, but you got Justin Herbert. Yeah, I mean, that's
all that matters.
Yeah, man, you got a franchise guy.
Everything happen.
And I mean, he's too by the book. He's too analytical. Sometimes you gotta go out there and just coach and win some games. Yeah. If it came out, I mean, Austin Eckler asked one of the players for the Vegas Raiders. He said, "We're going to let it tie. Yeah, we were going to kneel it. They're going to kneel it before Staley called those timeouts or that timeout.
Yep, at 37 seconds left.
Yeah.
So ended up costing them, man.
But you want to talk about underdogs for the AFC or?
Yeah, no. Yeah. So my AFC. I had Cincinnati beating Las Vegas. I think Las Vegas had, a phenomenal year considering all things that have happened with Henry Ruggs, John Gruden, player with the, playing freaking Call of Duty in real life, man, threatening to take someone's life. You see it on camera.
Who?
You didn't see that? It was first round corner from 2020.
Oh, Damon Arnett.
Thank you. I couldn't think of his name.
Yeah, he was wilding, man.
I saw that video and I was like, oh. It's the most Raiders thing ever. And then you just hear about Geno Smith too. You hear he got pulled over for a DUI. Everyone on Twitter's like, "Hey, yo, future Raider in the making."
Dang, man, Geno Smith for Seattle.
Come on, man. I know. What? Come on, man. It's man, y'all are some millionaires, man. Call it Uber, bro. It's not that hard. But but no, man. Look, I'm just Vegas, Cincinnati. I don't even care about the home field advantage. That could go anywhere. But I think Vegas' road end here. I think it's been a great run for the Raiders considering all things this year. And Derek Carr getting his first postseason appearance. He deserves it, man. Great stand-up guy. He's the one that kept that. Yeah, he's the one that kept that locker room together, man, through everything. And I know that Henry Ruggs thing actually hit me hard, and I can only imagine how that hit. Derek Carr in that locker room too, man. So, but Cincinnati. I think it's Joe Burrow's time, man. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon. Jamar Chase probably gonna win Rookie of the Year, and I think Cincinnati gets this win.
I tell you one thing, like I said, it's the year of teams overcoming their obstacles, man. Cincinnati hasn't won a playoff game at home since like the early '90s.
No way. I haven't looked that one up.
Let me fact check it real quick.
Yeah, go for that one too.
Let me see. Hold on.
I can't even remember the last time I've seen even Cincinnati even win a playoff game in general.
Yeah, it's been 30 years since the Bengals last won a playoff game, wild card round victory over the Houston Oilers back in January 6th.
It was the last playoff win or playoff home win?
Playoff.
Just playoff win in general.
Last playoff win, yeah.
Say it again, 19 what?
1991.
Oh my God!
They made it. They made it a few years.
Yeah, so
they got beat by the Jets.
Dalton. Yeah, they definitely. Yeah. Mark Sanchez, I think. And boys, I remember that. But oh man,
it's been a while, man. I'm trying to tell you, it's the year. These two, the Bengals and the Patriots, are my Cinderella teams. I say New England because they're playing in Buffalo, but it's cold again.
I get it.
The weather's bad again.
We all saw that was that Thursday night football game and
Monday night.
Was it a Monday night? Yeah. And I mean, what wind was going like 45 miles?
The weather's bad again.
Yeah, it was like Mac Jones had 18 yards, 2 or 3 completions. Like, look, I think me and you both support Mac Jones. Went to Bulls High School here in Jax. Yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But like, look, I think his true colors are showing now. These last couple of weeks. I mean, he's finally hitting that rookie wall. I'm not rooting against the guy. I'm not rooting against Belichick. I really don't care. As long as Brady's not up in New England, not really my problem. But quick thing with New England though, every year Saban's lost, New England's won the Super Bowl. And every year New England hasn't won the Super Bowl, Saban's won. Saban just lost last night.
You saw Julian Edelman put in a bid for not a bid, but a bet for Tampa Bay versus New England Super Bowl.
Did he? What did he wager?
I think like $100K.
Oh my God,
something like that.
You see, actually, last thing we'll say about the playoffs, real quick. This is actually going to the NBA. Someone $1,000 parlay took Draymond Green on Klay Thompson's return.
Yeah,
$20,000 he got that by how he put under 6 points, under 7.5 rebounds. Like he had some kind of inside information knowing Draymond was just gonna do the tip and take that foul. That's crazy, man.
And I want to say one thing about the whole Matt. I know I had a little moment with Matt Jones. I don't dislike Matt Jones.
Yeah.
I think he's good, but
he's solid.
He's solid. He's
solid.
And he's good for the situation. But
plays with a GOAT coach.
Exactly, and a great coordinator. But as a Jaguar fan and a heavy fan of Trevor Lawrence, I just don't like how they're saying, "Oh yeah, he's the best quarterback," and he played like the best one this year.
Oh, I get absolutely.
That. But we all knew going into the draft season if Justin Fields or Matt Jones goes to the Patriots,
it's a wrap.
There's a wrap.
Yeah, it's a wrap. Exactly.
If they got any of those top 3, even Zach Wilson,
even Trey Lance, even Zach Wilson, don't matter.
If Bill Belichick would have got his hands on any of these rookie quarterbacks, we knew they would have been in great situations, and boom, they are.
You put Kellen Mond, who was a second-round pick to Minnesota, bro, he would be shining in New England right now. Look, Trevor Lawrence, as of right now, I still think is the most talented quarterback in this class. I think what we saw was just a small glimpse in Week 18. Granted, we're a little biased, considering all things, but I think just pure talent and ability, he is the most franchise-ready, capable guy. Got a good head on his shoulders, man. But look, Mac Jones, I mean, you put him on the Jags, you put Trevor Lawrence on New England.
Man,
England is a Super Bowl bound team.
Man, if we had Matt Jones, and like I said,
be
no disrespect,
in the dirt.
I will be petitioning to get Matt Corral or just, Kenny Pickett.
Kenny Pickett. Bro. Hey, just as long as there's no fake QB slides, none of that. I'm tired of that.
Yeah, man.
But all right, let's go on to the next NFL topic now. When we get the playoffs out of the way, we're gonna be talking about Brian Flores getting fired. Man, I made a pretty heated video yesterday morning talking about watching Get Up, and I see, oh my goodness, the Dolphins just fired Brian after 3 seasons. This man went 24-25. Don't even count the first 5-11 season where they won 5 out of their last 9 games. Beat Tom Brady in Foxborough. I think that was his last.
He's 4-2 against the Patriots.
Yep, he's 4-2 against the Patriots. 2 is 3-0 versus the Patriots, and he literally turned that entire franchise around. Granted, after that Jacksonville game where we beat him in London this year, they completely changed the tide of the course of their season, winning 8 out of their last 9 games. Granted, a lot of those were trash teams, but you still won them. They were fighting for, a wild card spot before they lost to Tennessee, and then obviously they just beat New England again in Week 18, and they really rode with the GM, and they got rid of Brian Flores. That is a horrible, horrible move if you're the Miami Dolphins or you're a fan of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I made my post about it as well. I said I think they still don't give minority coaches in the NFL enough opportunities to rewrite the ship, or even like just to turn the whole program around. This was a bad team that he inherited, that Adam Gase left. This team was not good.
Got into 2 winning records.
Yeah,
just like that.
They haven't had back-to-back winning seasons since like 2014, 2013, something like that.
Yeah, it said it's been 8 seasons.
Yeah.
It's been 8 seasons since they had back-to-back winning seasons.
So you fire a coach that went 10-6 last year and 9-8 this year. 1 game away from the playoffs.
And look at all the injuries they had too this year.
Injuries. I mean, this not to go on a rip the whole, what I'm saying,
go for it.
But like the whole Deshaun Watson thing, this whole season until the trade deadline he had to deal with.
Off season and all through the middle of the season.
I mean, the injuries. I mean, he didn't have his best defensive players against Jacksonville when he played us in London. I mean,
they were missing both Byron Jones and Xavier Howard.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I don't think it's fair. I mean, I know everybody said, "Well, black GM fired him." I still don't think it's fair.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
it's not. There's only 2 black coaches,
Yeah.
head coaches right now, and that's Mike Tomlin and David Culley. And David Culley's probably not even going to be there.
And he got dealt a bad hand too.
Exactly. You know, he's being put into a bad situation, and he's expected to fail.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Yeah.
Adam Gase, I think he was there for 2 years. I think before he ended up getting fired. It might have been
Miami.
Yeah, when he was in Miami, I think it was it 2 or maybe it was 3 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, he took over an Adam Gase team. He had Ryan Fitzpatrick as his leading rusher in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Fitzpatrick. And he goes and wins 5 out of the last 11 games.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, that was Lamar Jackson's MVP year. I actually had him in fantasy that year, and I got him in like the 10th round because nobody wanted him. The Baltimore Ravens, week 1 of 2019, I think they dropped 62 on that Dolphins team. It was like 62-7. It was something ridiculous like that. And through the first couple weeks of the season, people were like, is this going to be one of the worst teams in NFL history? Like, they were that bad. And Brian Flores is being put into a situation where he's expected to fail. Turns the program around, is 4-2 versus the GOAT Bill Belichick, which no coach has a record or a winning percentage against Bill Belichick like that since the merger in 2000. So that is ridiculous to me. You're not getting a better leader, coach, man, a guy that is a stand-up class act. Unless there's some reports that just were never, leaked out to the public, something going on in the locker room. Otherwise, I think that's a horrible move, and he'd be a great coach anywhere.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think another thing too. I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to play the race card, but there was also a lot of talk about him and the GM not getting along or button heads.
Yeah,
and he was a sacrificial lamb. But you mentioned that he had that winning record against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. I think that he's like the only coordinator from the Belichick tree in the last 8 years, 10 or so years that has somewhat success.
Yeah,
I mean, Josh McDaniels didn't do good. He failed.
Neither did Patricia. They had
to go back home. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know where Matt's at right now. But
I don't even know where Patricia's at too. But wasn't McDaniels supposed to go to the Colts before that fell through? Yeah, and then he went right back to Belichick.
That's where they got Frank Wright. Frank Wright.
Wait, why did it?
He just left him at the altar.
Why did McDaniels dip on the Colts? I can't even remember now.
I don't know what the reason was, but I mean, I just think that Josh McDaniels, and I think he can be a good head coach again. Yeah, you give him another chance.
Yeah,
but I think he's just waiting on Belichick to hang it up. But I mean,
that's really it. Belichick could be doing this another 15, 20 years, honestly, if he stays upright.
Yeah, but regardless of the fact, minority coaches, in my opinion, they don't get their fair chance. I mean, I know guys like Marvin Lewis got his shot. I get that. You know what I'm saying? Who else? I'm trying to think of any other minority coaches that got.
It's hard when you got to sit here and think about that.
Mike Tomlin, of course, even a lot of Pittsburgh fans are 50-50 on him.
Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season. Yeah, and that is
I mean, and I've had my opinions on Mike Tomlin as well. Not because of him not being a good coach. I think he's a good coach. I just think when it comes to the postseason, he comes up short. But that's a different topic for a different day.
Different day, yeah, absolutely.
But he's a hell of a coach. You saw what he did this year with his team.
Yeah,
and some Pittsburgh fans kind of like, I don't know if we want to keep him around anymore.
Yeah. Nah, it's just Big Ben at this point.
Yeah, but Brian Flores, he's getting interviewed right now by the Bears. He'll get a job this season.
Yeah, he's absolutely going to head coaching job somewhere, whether it's Denver, whether it's Jacksonville, whether it's Minnesota. Minnesota, yeah, they had an opening. Yeah. Maybe Joe Judge is out in New York. We haven't seen that yet, but maybe he wants to go there. That's something. But that news down in Miami, Miami, yeah, I don't know what they could possibly be thinking too, because that is. There's just zero explanation. The fact that you think you're going to get an upgrade from a guy who consistently turned the program around in 2 seasons, and also you can't put a stamp or a number on a man's leadership qualities and keeping a locker room together. Yeah. That is an intangible that 90% of head coaches don't have. And he clearly showed that time and time and time again. Exactly. All 3 seasons.
How many times have we seen as Jaguar fans, our team start out 0-5? On a losing skid, and we just hang it up the rest of the season.
Absolutely. No,
they turned it around, bro. Regardless if it was because good teams or bad teams.
You're supposed to go out there and win.
They win. They went out there and did their job. They didn't quit. Yep. We've seen our teams quit many times during the season because of poor leadership.
Yeah. I mean, the Dolphins in 2019, I think they were 0-9 or 0-10 at one point. Yeah. And then, like I said, they won 5 out of their last 9 games. And they beat Tom Brady in the last week of the regular season in Foxborough. They needed that win to get a first-round bye. They didn't. They played Tennessee, and you know what Tom Brady's last pass was in New England? Pick 6.
Exactly.
And they lost that game.
I'm trying to, I don't
Miami spoiled that.
Yeah.
You know, he kept that team together, and, I mean, I don't know what head coach is going to be intrigued now with that job, considering that they didn't even give him an adequate amount of time to...
And they gave him a quarterback he didn't want.
Exactly. He wanted Herbert. He wanted Herbert. And the offensive coordinator, because they've had... Let me see. What is it? They've had 4 offensive coordinators, I think, in his time there.
Yeah.
Right? 2 defensive coordinators and 4 different offensive line coaches.
And look who they drafted.
They've had some notable draft selections these last couple of years. 2019, they take Christian Wilkins out of Clemson. Tua in 2020. Austin Jackson in 2020. Terrible. Yeah, he's not good. 2020, Noah Igbenogany. He's horrible too, and he's only had 6 tackles this year. Hella injuries, but they also passed up when they took Noah Igbenogany at the 30th pick. They passed up on some primetime running backs and Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Swift, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Deebo Samuel. I know he's running back receiver,
and we can say James Robinson as well.
I mean, everyone passed on James Robinson.
But still, I gotta say,
no, it definitely is true though. But man,
a lot of fans are saying this was like one of his.
I actually like Javon. I was so high on Javon Holland coming out of Oregon.
Yeah, they were saying that was a Flores pick.
Yeah, that's a steal. Yeah. Jalen Phillips was out of Miami. That's a bad pick. He was not a defensive.
I think he'd be solid though.
Look, I gotta see some more out of him this year. You know what I'm saying? But as of right now, I mean that pick's just. It's floating around. But Javon Holland and Richie Grant out of UCF too. I was like, yo, them boys. I wanted. Richie Grant ended up going to Atlanta 2 picks before we took Walker Little, who's been actually a phenomenal left tackle for the Jags so far. But, I mean, in 2021, Brian Flores had the number 16 ranked defense after, in 2020, the number 4 defense in terms of points per game. He lost Kyle Van Noy and a couple other pieces on that defense, but that's not on him.
Yeah.
He's not the one restructuring these contracts and getting these guys back, so... that's just on the franchise.
I say this, man. I say this. If the Miami Dolphins aren't making a pitch and a sell to Jim Harbaugh to get him from Michigan, they messed up. I don't know who they can upgrade from in this candidate pool.
They already said they're not gonna.
They're not going for Jim Harbaugh.
They already. Stephen Ross, the owner, already said he's not interested in Jim Harbaugh, even though he's a Michigan guy from Michigan. Has spoke highly. He already said he's not.
That might be all owner speak. We'll see.
That could just be public.
Yeah, but if they don't make a run for Jim,
I don't know who wants to go there after what happened.
I mean, who's going to want to? No offense to Tua, he probably who knows what's going to happen with him, but still That roster is outside of Waddle, the corners, of course, and Xavier Howard and Byron Jones. I mean, Xavier Howard might even request another trade this offseason. You got to deal with that. But this is I don't know. Miami, it's deeper than the head coach.
Much deeper. This is definitely a lot of front office issues because Stephen Ross and was it Christian Greer or Will Greer? Not Will Greer. Whatever. Point is, GM and Stephen Ross, the owner, just didn't get along with Brian Flores, which is astonishing to me because. Yeah. I mean, I would run through a brick wall to that guy, and I've never talked to this guy.
It's okay. He's going to get a head coaching job. I'm pretty sure he'll get one by the end of the offseason.
And Dolphins are going to go downhill because of this. This is like letting go of Jim Caldwell. When the Lions thought that they could upgrade, and the Lions thought they could upgrade, they went 10-6, and then 9-7, 9-7. And as soon as he left and they got Patricia, they were a laughing stock yet again. Yeah. Dan Campbell, great guy. I think he's turning this team around. But damn, they just... shooting themselves in the foot.
You just got to give minority coaches more chances. And overall, just coaches in general, it's a lot. I mean, look at the Cincinnati Bengals. You know what I'm saying? And he's not a minority coach, of course, Zach Taylor. And who knows if he's going to be the guy, you know what I'm saying, a year or two from now. But
look at the way
everybody written him off. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wrote him off. They say he's going to be fired in the middle of the season.
Yep, and especially after that Jamar Chase pick. People were clowning that. And I mean, look. I was right front and center saying you need to go and protect Joe. Yeah. I mean, that's your franchise quarterback, had a huge significant injury in his rookie season, out for the year after 4 or 5 games. And, you go and draft a receiver. I'm like, Jamar Chase to me was the best receiver coming out. Then Devontae, then Jalen. I mean, you could make an argument to Devontae and Jalen. But I was just like, I understand they had continuity and chemistry there. From their days at LSU, man, but I was like, you gotta protect your franchise piece.
If a coach,
it worked out.
If you're a head coach and he's like in year 1 or year 2, whatever like that, if he's showing you good leadership, building a great culture, and developing players, then you give him his time.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If he's not, case in point, Urban Meyer, then you cut ties with him as soon as you can. You know, but if they give you those three tools, man, and they're showing you that, like, you gotta let it ride out, man.
Yeah. Dolphins are that friend that thinks that they're a hot shot, thinks that they're better than their other friends, and you know they're like, "Hey, yo, let me try to
Miami right now."
Let me try to one up you. Hey, look, I'm just keeping it honest. Man. They're going right downhill because they are going to regret this, and I feel bad for those fans, man. Those fans didn't see that coming. We didn't see that coming. I don't think 90% of people saw that coming. Yeah. You know, and. Yeah, it's just not a good look, I think, if you're a Dolphins fan. But speaking of the Dolphins, let's go 305 to the 904. We're going to be talking about the Jaguars' next head coach. Obviously, this is one of the few job openings in terms of head coaching positions. You got the Jaguars, you got the Raiders, you got the Bears, possibly the New York Giants, the Minnesota Vikings, let go Zimmer. There might be another team I'm missing. I think that's probably about it. Denver as well. I think that's actually about it. You know, Matt Rule could potentially be out of Carolina. They just fired a bunch of guys, too. But as of right now, Matt Rule still has a job as the head coach. So I think the Jaguars, I mean, we're biased, but I think they've definitely got the most intriguing head coaching opening as they did last year. But this one as well, you've got Trevor Lawrence another year under your belt. You've got the franchise quarterback. You've got the third most cap space in the NFL. You have a plethora of draft picks yet again. And you've got a lot of guys on cheap deals as of right now. You're not really paying anybody, $100 million contracts right now. I mean, probably the most expensive player on the Jaguars is Myles Jack and Shaq Griffin. That's about it. Otherwise, you've got cap space to fill every need in draft picks. To, fill any need or void, go trade for an asset. The Jaguars should not be outbidded for any top receiver this offseason if they're going to make a trade. That's if they're competent enough, and Trent Baalke's competent enough to make a trade. But head coaching, man. So the Jaguars so far that they've actually scheduled interviews with have been Doug Peterson, former Super Bowl champion, Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator for Tampa Bay, Jim Caldwell, we briefly discussed. He was over in Detroit before he had some health issues, Byron Leftwich. Jaguar fans are all familiar with him. Former Jaguars quarterback, offensive coordinator now for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kellen Moore, we'll talk about him. I know you were really high on him. Offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys and the number one scoring offense in the NFL. Bill O'Brien, Bama's OC. Jaguar fans are familiar with him as his tenure in Houston. And then they've also requested interviews with Nathaniel Hackett, who actually was the Jaguars offensive coordinator back in 2017 when we went to the AFC Championship game. But he is the Green Bay Packers offensive coordinator right now. And Matt Eberflus, the defensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts, who we just absolutely destroyed this past weekend. So, I don't know, man. Talk to me about some head coaching candidates you want to see up in Jacksonville.
Well, you forgot one name on there, unfortunately. Darrell Bevel. He's on the list as well. He had his interview.
I didn't even feel like writing his name now because I'm not even going to acknowledge
they did
that
his due diligence.
They're doing their due diligence. I understand. He's the interim head coach, went 1-3, but it's not happening.
Man, you mentioned a lot of great things about this team in this the way it looks on paper. You know what I'm saying? But
it's on paper.
Man, I'm gonna be a little real right now, man. I don't think this job is as attractive right now as people are making it seem.
Why is that? I want to know actually why is that?
It's because of the potential that Shad Khan will be keeping GM Trent Baalke.
Correct. Okay. I think that's the only fair point.
Outside of that, then boom, best job on the market.
Absolutely, because it's on a coach to develop a franchise and to develop a culture and make guys feel like they have some integrity going into work, being excited for work, fighting for each other.
This job is attractive if it wasn't for the GM because you got one, a franchise quarterback, and two, you got money to spend.
A whole lot of money.
Draft picks.
And hella draft picks.
Year 2 of this. So, Trent Baalke, I'll start with that. I mean, unfortunately, from what I'm seeing on the Twitter timeline and what I'm reading, the candidates they've scheduled, of course, there's a lot of great names on this list, man, but they all have one common factor, man. They don't want to be taking, requests. They don't want to be being around like Trent Baalke. They don't want to be under him. They don't want to work with him. They don't want to do that. And Shad Khan, and I'm not about
stuck in his way.
Oh my God, man! I can go on a whole rant about Shad.
I know.
Bro.
We're gonna try to stay off that, but I mean, I like Shad as a person, man. I really do. I think he has good intentions, man. He really does. He's not trying to diminish Jacksonville. He's not trying to diminish this franchise, but it's just
he's not trying. But he is extremely naive to a lot of things.
He's stuck in his own way.
I think you look at 2017, right? Coming off 2016, We finished the year with that big win, kind of like we did with the Colts. We beat Tennessee. Jalen Ramsey had that pick.
Yep.
6.
Took it to the house.
Bortles
Yep.
Had that throwback.
That throw from Marquise Lee. Marquise Lee. Pitch around. Yep.
Season ended on a great note.
Yep.
Right?
Going to the next year.
They brought back Doug Marrone, and it was okay, cool.
Because he was the interim head coach because Gus Bradley had gotten fired.
Yep. Brought back Doug Marrone, but they hired something that they should bring back, and is the vice president of football operations.
And Tom Coughlin.
Because that gave the ability for Shad Khan to take a step back.
Correct.
And focus on other things around Jacksonville.
Which is exactly what he's done, which I give him credit
for. We applaud him for that.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of things coming. We got a 4 seasons coming.
Yep.
We have facilities coming.
Absolutely. And he's doing some renovations with the Riverwalk. He's doing
He's
amazing things around the city. I mean, everyone in Jacksonville is grateful for that.
Yeah, but when it comes to football decisions, that's not his thing. But like I said, he had the recipe in 2017, and he went away from it because Coughlin failed.
Absolutely.
After 2017, 2018, and so he went away from that. I think he needs to get back to that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe keep Balky around, but bring someone in, like someone that's good at evaluating talent, like Jim Caldwell, something like that, to be vice president of football operations. Something. Because then you have 3 guys, your head coach, your GM, and your vice president of football operations making decisions. Instead of them, you only have 2 guys reporting back to you.
Correct.
Because that was his main thing in this time with Urban Meyer. He wanted Trent and Urban to report back to him. He wanted to be heavily involved in football decisions.
Yeah, and honestly, like I was actually okay with that because the thing is, like I don't hate Urban as much as I think a lot of Jaguar fans did, or like despise him as much, and it has nothing to do with Gator affiliation, right? It has I'm just being objective. I think Urban actually had really good intentions. I think he actually wanted deep down in his heart to build a successful franchise here.
Yeah.
And he worked his entire life to get to the NFL. He wasn't just trying to throw that away, even though a lot of things he put himself in bad situations. But just I don't know what the answer is for Shad.
Yeah,
I mean, this is his last, like his very last final straw. If this next head coach is a 1 and done or a 2 and done, it's gone because you need a head coach that is going to be here for 8 to 10 years, bare minimum with Trevor. No, you have your franchise quarterback. We as Jaguar fans have been searching for that since Brunell. As much as I love Garrard, as much as I love Blake, like. You have the legit one now. Now it's like, all right, you had his 1 year where you effed up. That's fine. Get the one that's going to be here until he retires. And
you mentioned that. I find it funny. We're going to touch base back on this because we're going down rabbit hole. It's good podcasting right now. But
very good.
I remember reading an eval on Trevor Lawrence during his draft process. Everything. All the makings of a franchise quarterback, right? They said the only thing that can mess him up is an incompetent franchise.
100%.
And you're seeing that.
As of right now, yes.
So, for me as a fan, and actually just a spectator of football, because Trent Baalke failed for the 49ers too, and he was literally out of a job for 2 to 3 seasons before the Jaguars, out of all the teams, picked him up.
Yep.
They got to let him go. Because if you let him go, then all these names you're looking at
Jim,
are all
Kellen Moore,
boom.
Byron Leftwich, etc.
Then you can really get with the pickings and stuff like that. But now with Baalke being here, Bill O'Brien,
and they're talking about Vic Fangio possibly to DC, but I have zero problems with Joe Cullen.
Yeah.
Almost every Jags fan is a huge supporter of Joe Cullen.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I think they should clean house.
I don't mind clean house. Charlie Strong I like too, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing and one thing only, and probably a lot of Jaguar fans don't want to hear this. I don't even know if a lot of people thought about this, because this is the only thing I'll say in defense of Trent Baalke. The only thing. Think about the first 5 picks that we had in this year's draft. Now, anybody could have drafted Trevor Lawrence. That's a given, right? Trevor Lawrence. Travis Etienne. I mean, forgetting injury, I think he's going to be a very good player.
Most definitely.
If he can just be healthy.
Be what he was.
And especially because he's played with Trevor, and Trevor knows their tendencies, and they've played together and have that continuity. I think Travis is going to be a phenomenal player in this league, a very dynamic player. So you got Travis, you got Trevor. That's 2 for 2 in my eyes, right? Tyson Campbell has really came into his own. This guy is potentially going to be a cornerback one. I would love to see him be CB1, CB2 for this franchise. Great pick, and he's only going to continue to get better. Walker Little, another great pick out of Stanford. I mean, he's been phenomenal in the games in which he's been here. And then, let's see, our 3rd round pick, Andre Cisco. when he's gotten onto the field,
most definitely.
he's been great. So in his only defense, the first 5 picks, man,
have been good.
Those are 5 franchise cornerstone pieces. You can definitively say if James Robinson stays happy to here in Jacksonville, you got the running backs taken care of. You got the quarterback taken care of. You most certainly drafted the cornerback right as well. You got the franchise safety. You've got a good left tackle for the future. Hopefully we get Evan Neal, but that's a topic for another day too with the draft. Like those first 5 picks, they actually nailed every single pick. So in his defense and in his credit, I will absolutely give Trent Baalke that. Yeah. That is something I think a lot of people ignore, but that I will give him 100%.
And I like that you bring that up because I agree. At the beginning of the season, I didn't know what we were doing with these draft picks. They all looked
Cisco
like
wasn't playing.
Yeah.
Campbell was playing horrible.
Yeah.
Obviously Etienne got hurt during the preseason, that Liz Frank injury.
Yeah.
And then Walker Little wasn't playing either. They had Cam and Juwan in there. So it was like, what do we, like, the whole point is, like, you want guys to get these reps, get them in there, especially when you don't have a franchise guy, get him the reps. Why the hell is Wingard in there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting there at Houston. I'm at week 1. I'm like, yo, Taven Bryan and Wingard's in the game. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing?
Here's the flip side of that, and I like to brought it up, but I gotta bring it back to balance. You look at what he did in free agency.
Yeah,
they had the most money in cap last year.
They decided not to spend basically any of it.
They went on bargain deals, and they only signed about 2 guys that made significant impact.
Yep,
was
Shaq Griffin.
It was Shaquille Griffin. Yeah, Shaq Griffin.
Roy Robertson Harrison, maybe.
I don't even say him. I say 3 guys: Agnew and Marvin Jones Jr.
Okay, I actually forgot about Marvin coming over free agency.
But Robert Jones,
he had over 800 yards too. Yeah. Robertson Harris had his moments, but he was too inconsistent.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
he's supposed to just be a depth guy. He's not supposed to be, your defensive lineman number 1.
And I say that because we had the most money to spend in cap, and you had guys like Hunter Henry, John
Smith, all them boys, Kenny Galladay,
even
though he had 0 touchdowns on the season.
Facts,
but he plays for the Giants
and a horrible quarterback.
So I'm not even going to knock him for that.
So you had opportunity. You had Matthew Judon, who was under Joe Cullen,
phenomenal,
balled out for the Patriots this season.
Couldn't
even get him down for a visit.
Nope, nothing.
I mean,
that's on Trent Baalke and Urban for not
most
doing
definitely.
their due diligence. But
that's my bad. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's another reason why I'm kind of like, okay, he drafted. Okay, cool. Did his job.
He evened it out with the whole.
But he evened it out. Like, you can't have all this money,
absolutely,
and do all that.
But at the same time, I also put it into a little bit of perspective, and I'll still give him the benefit of the doubt with the first year. Like, you're coming into a team that's 1-15, even with a brand new GM, front office, coaching staff, top to bottom. I understand not going out there and spending $50 million like that, because they're like, all right, you know what, hold up. We know we're not going to be a top tier competitive team this year. Let's just get some guys developed. We've got a very young roster. Let's just get some veteran leadership in here. Let's just get some solid players, Malcolm Brown as well. Let's just take care of some of that, and then we'll worry about, hey, now we're a year in. Hope maybe we were like a 6-7 win team. Obviously, we won 3 games. Okay, now we can go spend the big money. Godwin obviously got hurt. Gallup got hurt. Devontae Adams probably going to get franchise tag. But Jaguars absolutely need to go out and now spend this money.
But do you think they actually can? Because there's a lot of rumors. Shout out to the Move the Sticks podcast with Daniel Jeremiah, a great NFL Network analyst. He said that, man, like I said, this pool, like this candidate pool and these players out there, the potential free agents, they don't want to come here, man, because they know who's going to be the general manager.
Absolutely, man.
So, but anyways...
No, you good. I mean, I completely agree. And I'm not sitting here trying to defend. I'm saying, but
we're just balancing it out.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm just saying, if there's one to 2 things I will absolutely come to his defense with, what I've seen from him in the last 365 days, is he actually made some competent decisions that I'm actually very happy with when it comes to that draft. And I mean, I think a lot of people were actually not upset, but it was like, bro, we really paid Agnew, some return specialist, $15 million, but. He deserves every little penny of that.
If he can get his hands together, he'll be worth the money. He'll be a focal point in next year's offense.
Absolutely. Him and Etienne are explosive.
Yeah, I mean, he brought him in to be a return specialist, and he gave us a punt return.
Absolutely, man.
For the first time since when? Or not a punt return.
Kick return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
So he had a kick return for a touchdown, right? He had versus Denver. I was at that game.
Yeah.
He had the kick 6, 109 yards on that Gus Johnson call versus Arizona. Then he also had a 66-yard rushing touchdown versus the Indianapolis Colts.
Yep.
And then he also had a receiving touchdown versus Seattle. He was the only player, I think, in the NFL this year to have all of those touchdowns, like, you know, a kick return for a touchdown, the rushing, the kick six, and then also the receiving. So I think he's the only player in the NFL. He would have been all pro this year had he stayed healthy.
Yeah, and he made some great catches against
Cincinnati too.
Yeah.
Oof.
So if he can get his hands together, then that's a good target right there for Trevor.
Yeah, he's a receiver 4 or 5. He's not going to be your 1 or 2. And also, last thing about receivers, Laviska got to go. I'm so tired of that guy.
That's a difference.
I'm so done with that, man. And I was so high on him coming in the year.
My thing is with Viska, right? And I just don't understand because he looks so... It might be the play calling. And also his hands. I think his confidence as well. Because last year with Jay Gruden...
I mean, he was catching everything.
He was getting open. But I think for a player like that, and it sucks to say, and this is why this might be an indictment into his play, you have to scheme things for him.
Oh, absolutely.
And when you have to scheme things for players, that means they ain't that guy.
Yeah.
They're not who they drafted to be.
Yeah.
You know, he's drafted to be wide receiver 2. Wide receiver 1.
He should absolutely... his skill set and his potential should be that guy's a wide receiver 2 and that guy will run over you. Yeah. We've seen it versus Tennessee. We've seen it plenty of times.
This is a Jarvis Landry type.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
This guy can actually... he's not the fastest. Absolutely not. Yeah. He's not even the best route runner. But the thing is, when you get this guy the ball, you know he can take off 10, 20 yards with it. And that's what's important. But... we'll kind of finish up this topic and address it one more time.
Coaching.
You absolutely... we kind of got on a rant about the Jags because, man, it's tough. It's tough being a Jags fan.
We can podcast for 5 hours talking about the Jags, man.
10 hours. But, all right, you want one head coach in here for the next 8 to 10 years coaching this Jaguars franchise, considering we don't F things up. Mm-hmm. Who do you want as the next head coach for this franchise moving forward with Trevor Lawrence? One guy.
I want Doug Peterson.
Okay, why?
Former Super Bowl head coaching champion.
Correct.
He's done wonders with quarterbacks. Yep. He had Carson Wentz playing like an MVP before his injury. A lot of people try to credit that to Frank Wright, which is the offensive coordinator. Well, the offensive coordinator he had, and now the head coach for the Colts.
Yeah, and John DeFilippo as well, who came to Jacksonville.
But I think Doug Peterson, his RPO methods and stuff like that, like he won the Super Bowl with Nick Foles. He outcoached Bill Belichick, the GOAT coach, literally on the biggest stage.
40+ on him.
Scoring, easily putting up points. I mean, that's very impressive.
And then the following season, when Foles went to Chicago, beat Chicago with that double doink, and then also the very next game in the Superdome, they were and Alshon Jeffrey don't drop the ball,
going back,
and they were going to win that game with the Saints. Nick Foles was pulling out that magic again before he ended up going to Jacksonville that next year in 2019.
Yes,
Doug Peterson knows how to win. He was doing it with I think it was it wasn't Colt McCoy. It was, goodness gracious, when Carson Wentz went out in that Seattle game. Who was that backup? Was it McCown?
It might have been
McCown. It was some backup though. They almost beat Seattle in that playoff game, right? But they obviously did it with Nick Foles. He almost did it again with Nick Foles. He drafted Jalen Hurts because he saw Carson Wentz is regressing, and we see it with our own eyes here in Jacksonville. Yeah. He's not that guy, and I've been beating the table saying that, but. Look, Doug Peterson was actually my number one guy. I made a video about it. I said, I want Doug Peterson here in Jacksonville until I saw Brian Flores get fired. I'm not saying that Flores has the resume, because he doesn't even have a playoff win yet, of a Doug Peterson. But when I see what this guy has in terms of the intangibles, in terms of that leadership quality, keeping that locker room together. If the Jaguars go on a skid where they lose 3 or 4 games straight, I know, hey, I got Brian Flores. I know that this locker room is going to keep it together, and they're going to go out there and they're going to run through a brick wall for that guy. I think Flores is a terrific coach. You could talk about the quote-unquote development of Tua not being to the standard of him being a top 10 pick.
Tua ain't that guy.
But Tua's not that guy, right? Tua's a solid. I think he's solid, but he's not going to carry the team on his back. Trevor could most certainly do that, but also you're going to put more talent around him. Yeah. Brian Flores, I think, is a people's guy. I think he's a coach's guy, and I think that this guy is a good representative of the franchise. There should be zero reasons outside of Trent Baalke and Shad Khan as to why Jacksonville is not a popular destination. You want Doug P. I want Brian Flores. If Doug P. came here, I would not be upset, but once I saw that Dolphins fire, I'm like, I want Brian Flores representing my team. And,
so I got one last thing on this. Up? Now, he said who we want.
Absolutely.
Who is the most likable? Who's the one that's going to happen? Do you think, in your opinion, without saying?
I think they're going to hire Byron. I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to pay Byron a bag, and I'm more on the side of no with Byron than I lean more yes, because it's too I'm not trying to play no games, right? We're at the point where, like I said, you had your one little mess up with Urban. That's fine. Mm-hmm. It was Trevor's first season in the NFL. While you got him on a rookie contract, and while you've got a franchise quarterback who's impressionable and still learning the game, I do not want a guy who was a subpar quarterback in the NFL when he was with the Jaguars. He won a Super Bowl with Pittsburgh. He won a Super Bowl with Tampa. But he's worked with Carson Palmer and he's worked with Tom Brady. I'm not trying to go for the cute, sexy name. It's like, oh, maybe this guy's going to be great as a head coach with Kellen Moore or Eric Bieniemy or Byron Leftwich. I think it's cool. I think it's great. It could potentially work out, but there's more of a downside, I think there's a higher risk when it comes to those coordinators. I want a proven head coach in this league. I'm not trying to play no games. If Byron got here, of course I'm going to support him. I'm going to support any head coach that we get, even if it's Bill O'Brien, goddammit. But I'm not feeling Byron Leftwich. I'm not feeling any coordinator like that.
I feel you, and I like how you mentioned that we need a proven head guy, man. This team isn't in this way this team is constructed right now. We're not in a position to take another gamble.
Yeah, no more gambles.
You can't, because like we mentioned a little while ago, man. Like if we mess up again, man, I don't know if this team's gonna be here.
Trevor gone.
I don't know.
I hope Trevor requests a trade if we F this next head coach up.
Yeah,
and that pains me to say that. As much as we all love him here in Jacksonville, he deserves better.
If
that's the case,
I would love Byron. And I think that's going to be the guy as well.
That's who they're going to hire, honestly.
I think they will. I mean, I'm looking at Byron. I think players love to play for him.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of talent for Tampa, don't get me wrong. And he's learned under Bruce Arians, who you can say what you want about Bruce Arians. He's a damn good coach.
Very good coach.
And he has a great
holds people accountable.
Holds people accountable.
He held Tom Brady accountable. We saw it plenty last year.
So we know Byron's not going to play no games. And another thing I noticed about a lot of people say, well, that's Tom Brady's offense. Okay, no quarterback is running an offense. Okay?
Exactly.
Okay, Aaron Rodgers admitted himself that this is Nathaniel Hackett's offense.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I think another thing we saw this year with Brian Leftwich, especially in these last few games, without the AB, without
Mike Evans,
without
Godwin, obviously.
You're seeing
Scotty Miller and these guys getting involved.
You're seeing Leftwich coach without the talented roster.
You saw what they did to Carolina, too, man. They ran it all up on them.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens in the playoffs. They play the Eagles first.
Yep. And that's actually a tough out.
That is a tough game.
People acting like they're just going to go over and mop Philly. Yeah. That's not going to happen.
Luckily, it's in Tampa Bay, though.
Yeah. But I mean, that's actually better, I think. I mean, I know Philadelphia obviously wants that home field advantage at Lincoln Financial, but I mean, playing in warm weather, that's good for both teams.
I like Byron. I just hope it's not going to be Bill O'Brien, man. I think we talked about it pre-show.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, I hope it's not.
It's not going to happen.
I mean, I think he's an average head coach. Even when he was being a head coach, not a GM, he's not a people person, man. We don't need that right now.
Yeah, you see the way he reacted in the booth last night. You see that video?
Bro, I mean, he's another thing too. I mean, like he might have coached the Heisman quarterback this year and Bryce Young, but he didn't do a good job of coordinator from Alabama this year. Alabama fans didn't like his play calling at all this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but hey, good NBA talk, man. I'm glad we got some good discussion going on in there. But we're gonna transition into the NBA now. If you guys don't know, my boy Darien, big Golden State Warriors fan.
Absolutely.
For y'all that know me, if y'all know me, I'm a Utah Jazz and a Magic fan. Magic fan, grew up in Jacksonville, but Utah fan because my dad's from Salt Lake. So I grew up. He raised me a Jazz fan. I chose to be a Magic fan at a young age. So it's like 1A, 1B. Mm-hmm. But we're specifically going to be talking about the return of Klay Thompson. And then the return of Kyrie Irving. I think both have only played one game since their return. He played against Portland last night. Yeah, my bad. So, I mean, who do you think's going to have the bigger impact and the implications of their team, possibly going further, winning it all, whatnot?
I think, obviously, it'll be Klay, only because of the COVID situation.
Yeah.
Kyrie can't play in arenas that are COVID, restricted,
And I don't think he can play in San Francisco.
He can't play in California.
Nope.
He can't play in a lot of West Coast teams. He can't play in Brooklyn.
Yeah. I think I think Salt Lake City's actually about to implement I saw them post something too.
So he can't play in New York. I don't know any other East Coast teams, so I'm not going to say.
Yeah. But I think Brooklyn's the only. I think New York City's the only one as of right now.
Let's say if Wisconsin implements it, so let's say if Chicago or Illinois,
you
know what I'm saying? Then they're in trouble because those are the three best teams in the East outside of
and Miami too.
Miami too.
Miami. Look, I'm telling you, man, the way it's still getting worse every single day, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah, most definitely.
Bro, cities are in these next couple months, and we got 4 or 5 months of the playoffs. Like, cities are going to start implementing these mandates, bro. And it's going to happen, whether y'all like it or not. It's going to happen.
Yeah, so I think, just by that, I think Klay is going to be more important. He's more important. Well, you said more important. Or
just more important, yeah. Like, who do you think's going to have a bigger impact
Klay,
on their team?
Because he's going to be bigger, because he'll be there.
Be there every game.
He'll be there every game. Yeah.
Okay, look, I totally respect that, and it's not even like a Jazz thing coming out at me. Like, I mean, Klay Thompson's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, but to me, it's Kyrie. Just because Harden and KD ain't winning no chip. As much as I love KD, I think he's the best player in the game when healthy. You know, no disrespect to Bron or Curry or Giannis. But, you know, when Kyrie's on the floor, like, they are easily the greatest offensive team this game has ever seen. Even when KD was back in 2017 with that Golden State Warriors team, we were like, man, they're going to win every single finals except for when they went down with KD when it hurt. And then Klay went hurt. So, I mean, both had actually solid debuts once they came back. I mean, Kyrie, 32 minutes versus the Pacers, 9 of 17 from the field, 0 of 4 from deep, and he chipped in 3 steals. He was a plus 16. I mean, granted, Lance Stevenson almost stole the show. That was some crazy stuff when I was watching that
Lance
game.
Was going dumb.
Went 20 in the first quarter, man. And actually good for him. He actually ended up beating my Jazz.
He had a triple-double,
I think he had a triple-double, too. I mean, he went nuts, man.
What's going on with Lance? Back in 2010?
Honestly, man. Roy Hibbert, David Weston, them boys, man. George Hill. That was a crazy team. George.
That was a good team.
You know,
they gave the Miami Heat some trouble.
Yeah, before Paul George, got all that slander. But, I mean, with Kyrie, I mean, and like I said, nothing against Klay Thompson. I mean, Klay Thompson definitely had a solid outing. What was it, versus the Cavs on NBA TV?
He had
17 points. I think he was 0-3 from 3.
Dunk
but
caught a body.
Yeah, I mean, that was a vicious dunk. I mean, that was something crazy. And, I get it. Klay Thompson, one of the greatest shooters ever, one of the top players who have ever played this game. I just think Kyrie, if Kyrie is available in the playoffs, and I'm not even saying, because he's not going to get vaccinated. Let's just keep this real. He's too stuck in his way. He's not going to sacrifice for the greater good of the team. But that's a topic for another day still. If Kyrie's even there for 3-4 games out of a series, they're not losing, right? They're not losing a playoff series. They're winning it all. They're beating Golden State. They're beating Phoenix. I'm just saying. No, so how about this? I won't say they beat Golden State if he can't play in San Francisco, right? But if any of these cities in which he's got to go play in, Chicago, Miami, Atlanta, wherever it is, if he can't play for a majority of the series or whatever, Brooklyn's not winning it all.
Yeah. It's
not happening. But if Kyrie's there, and that's if he is there, they're winning it all. And I just don't see Golden State or nobody out of the West or East beating them.
If he is there as they're playing right now, and it sucks because you say that, but you got to take the implications of like chemistry and building consistency and the cohesiveness. Like
I feel that.
Let's say if he has to, I think Chicago could beat this team. And I don't think it'll be I think it'll be. I think it'll be like
I've seen Chicago in person too.
I think Milwaukee can beat them. I think if Miami gets healthy, they can beat them. I think damn near the
Atlanta
top 5 teams.
Atlanta give them a tough out.
Well, I don't know if Atlanta's in the playoffs.
They're not right now. They're not. They're like a 12 seed. But I mean, they had so many.
But I think the top 5 teams in the East can beat these boys.
I disagree. I mean, look. I mean, KD and Harden almost beat the Bucks last year. What was it? KD had a foot, not even a foot. He had a toe on the 3-point line, and sends it to overtime? I think, and then Giannis ends up beating them.
Yeah, but since that game, the Milwaukee Bucks have been beating they behind.
Exactly, and but I mean, their big 3, Drew, Chris, and Giannis have played I think less than 10 games together this season. I think they've seriously, and I think they're sitting at a number 2 seed right now, if I'm not mistaken. 3, actually 3 seed because Chicago's number 1, Brooklyn's number 2, and then Milwaukee number 3. Philadelphia I think is actually at 4 somehow.
It's another tough team.
And that's actually a topic we're going to be talking about in a little bit with the whole Ben Simmons. They're definitely tough out. They're looking to move on. But I think if just Kyrie's there, even if he's there for a game 3, 4, and whatever participation that they can get out of a Kyrie Irving is going to win them a championship if he's available in the playoffs.
I just think the chemistry and the cohesiveness is going to be really big in the playoff series, man. You guys got you got guys like DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine and Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso.
Don't disrespect my boy Vucevic.
Vooch. They've been playing
2-time All-Star, by the way.
Damn near all season together, man. I just don't. I mean, would the basketball gods really let this happen?
All right, real quick. Yeah, we had to, take a little stop real quick. Something happened. But you were talking about Vucevic and the Bulls. Go on.
Yeah, so I was saying, do we really believe the basketball gods will allow, someone like in Kyrie's situation to just overcome chemistry and cohesiveness and just help will his team to the NBA Finals, man. It's not basketball, man.
I agree.
You need some type of like that matters. Like we seen with the what happened? Like I think it was like the year before last when Kawhi and Paul George first came together, right?
Correct.
And they barely played during the season because of load management and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we saw what happened. They got booted in the first round against who was it? Was it Utah?
Nah, it wasn't Utah. We talking 2 seasons ago. This was when
they first got together.
Correct. Wasn't that the same
The bubble.
They got bounced in the bubble, yeah.
What was it against Utah? I think it was against Utah.
Nah, they lost to
Denver.
Was it Denver?
Yes, Denver.
I thought it was Denver.
There we go. It was Denver when Jamal Murray was going dumb.
Yeah, they blew a 3-1 lead. That's right. Yeah, in the conference semis. And Denver ended up playing the Lakers, and the Lakers blew by them.
But that all came back on them not playing enough games during the season.
Correct.
They didn't have enough chemistry. I mean, Lou Will was out some games. Patrick Beverly was out some games.
Yeah.
Paul George and Kawhi Leonard were playing like with low management. I mean, I don't think they even play like...
The real bubble guppies came out.
Yeah.
We saw what A. Disney and LeBicky and Jamal Murray did.
The teams that had the most chemistry won. That's just how NBA basketball is, man. Like, if you have chemistry in your team, you're going to win championships. So, by that, unless things change, I just don't see them making it to the finals, honestly, bro.
So how about this? I will concede to that. I will say Klay Thompson, I think, will have a greater impact on his team in general, regular season, playoffs, because he's going to be available, right?
Yeah.
The best ability is availability.
Yes.
But if Kyrie's on the floor and Klay Thompson's on the floor, it's a wrap, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not even just saying in a head-to-head with the Warriors and the Nets.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the Nets are significantly a better team, and we'll have to see over time. Kyrie's played 2 games this season. Portland and Pacers. So we'll have to see how that chemistry continues to develop. But I don't know if the basketball gods will do that. You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
We play him in a few weeks, but Kyrie ain't gonna play.
Yeah, I know. And
unless he just
he ain't getting vaxxed. That ain't happening.
I low-key think, man. I think they might make him get a vax, bro. Because you got to think like if they play any team on the West Coast, like the best teams, unless Arizona might. Issue it too.
Yeah.
Arizona, Utah,
all of
Memphis,
these cities in the next
State.
couple of months. Let's keep this a buck. In the next couple of months, all these cities are gonna have vaccine mandates, and everyone's going to whine and cry, and every side's gonna be divided. But forget that, right? They're doing what's in the best interest of them, and the best interest for cities is people being safe, so that they can get tax dollars, get paid, and then that benefits everybody, right? If people are missing time because of COVID. That means businesses are losing money. That means you're not getting paid. Taxes aren't getting paid. It affects everyone's pocket. Yeah. So Kyrie, if he's gone this long, especially considering his whole team and coaching staff and 90% of the NBA is vaxxed, he's not getting a vax, okay? He's too stuck in his own way, and that's fine. That's his choice, right? If he doesn't want to help his team win a championship, that's fine. That's his choice, and I respect that. But me... If I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I was disappointed when they said that they would allow him to come back because no athlete should be a part-time player, right? Everyone is sacrificing their time, their energy, it's a team sport for a reason, right? I don't think the basketball gods should allow that, but considering they have Harden and KD and Kyrie.
I'm not mad at Brooklyn because they really had no choice. I mean, they were about to freaking sign like 2 more G League players.
I mean, they were versus my Magic when the Magic beat them up in Barclays Center. I mean, we were both running G League teams. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens.
We'll see for sure. But
maybe I'm just saying, like, he'll literally be playing strictly road games as of right now.
Especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, but if it comes to the finals, man, they're not going to have him. So
exactly.
But, like you said, if he's
there.
Yeah, he's the most.
That's a big
for sure, because they're not going nowhere without him.
Exactly. But how about this? Call it right now. It's January 1st, 2022. You good, bro. Mm-hmm. Is Kyrie going to get vaccinated at some point during this 2022 NBA season? Yes or no?
Man.
My answer is an absolute definitive no. I can almost with guarantee say I absolutely do not think he will. He's got his own little conspiracy theory, which is fine. That's on him, but it's not happening.
It's just and I'm not going to even speak on his decision. You make your own decisions, So
absolutely no. I want everyone to make what decision's best for them.
But I'm just speaking off the game of basketball and winning a championship this year. And if their goal is to win a championship, they're not going to accomplish that goal.
They're not going to accomplish it without Kyrie. I completely agree.
As a fan, I'm going to say yes, he will get it. But as a fan of the game. But
correct.
Being a realist,
he ain't getting it.
I think he's gonna lock in.
I think he's gonna stand his ground.
But go ahead.
He won't stand his ground. That's it. That's basically that's all I believe with him.
But if I'm the Brooklyn Nets, I respect your decision, man.
Absolutely,
I do. But at the end of the day, it's a business,
and we trying to win.
We trying championships.
And you brought KD here,
yeah,
and Harden,
yeah.
So, buddy,
I think they might trade him.
It ain't happening. I mean, look, I know there's all that talk about Ben Simmons. Like I said, we'll get into that in a little bit, but it's just
after the season, not this season. After the season, because actually, low key, I think he might be a free agent this summer. Or he might
Harden.
Be one more
Harden is going to be an unrestricted free agent. He hasn't signed a contract extension. KD's locked up. I think Kyrie's still locked up. Though.
So he'll be at least for one more year.
At least one more year. But my problem is if Kyrie leaves the Nets or KD or whatever situation happens, right? I mean, forgetting even COVID, but obviously that has to play an implication with the world that we live in now. Mm-hmm. I agree with what Stephen A. said months and months ago. I wouldn't give him more than a one-year deal, no matter what team I am, because as phenomenal as a talent as he is, there's always a reason, and COVID is now a reason because of the world we live in, as to why he is inconsistently not showing up for work. And that it definitely has to play a part. 2-year deal is the max I would give this guy.
Yeah.
Because he can't be trusted. You're going to say, I'll give you a 2-year, $110 million deal. Yeah. I'll pay you $80 million guaranteed. Yeah. I don't care what it is. He deserves every penny of any contract you give him because he's that damn good. But we've seen his leadership qualities, and it's not that great. It's just, he's not a very dependable player when it comes to that. So that's just my take on it.
Yeah.
I hope to see Kyrie in the whole playoffs because, damn it, he's that great of a basketball player. And it's not even a Brooklyn Nets thing. I think it's just he is that phenomenal. Everyone loves watching Kyrie. Even when I was watching that Pacers game, like, man, it felt great to see him weaving in and out of traffic. But, I mean, if he's there, Brooklyn's winning it, but that's a big if. And especially if it has to go through Golden State. Man, that's going to be something. But next, we're going to talk about Lakers, man. I know you're a big LeBron guy.
I'm not a big LeBron guy.
Nah,
man.
I've definitely seen you come to this guy's defense. A little more times than not.
I am okay.
More
My
times
bad.
than not.
I used to be a LeBron enthusiast.
Okay,
but then the whole
you not like I guess a
the whole baby
sexual.
No, not a Bron.
I am not a Bron sexual. I'm a Bron fan, but I'm not a Bron. I am not a Bron stan, not a Bron sexual. I'm not one of those guys.
I respect his game.
100%.
He is the best player in the NBA. Well, I don't know if anymore, but
he's top 3, top 4.
He held it down for 13, 14 years.
Our entire childhood. Let's keep this real.
Our entire childhood. You know what I'm saying? Out of outliers, like with Kobe had a year or something like that. But anyways, since he's been in the league, he's
been running it.
He's been running it. I respect him. You know, so I like what he does outside of basketball. But I just think like some of his in-basketball decisions when it comes to him, ever since he left Cleveland, he started being le GM and stuff like that. Like
le GM.
I'm not a fan of, especially this year, man. Oh my goodness. But like, I just don't like how he puts these teams together because we all know he's a big say-so on how the teams are constructed.
That's the problem with the NBA is players have too much power. But think about it, man. Like, bro, if you a GM, if you Rob Pelinka or you any GM, right, and LeBron, KD, don't matter, any superstars on your team, you listen to them.
Yeah,
they take orders. Because, like, bro, you could say, you'd be like, oh, I'm the GM. I'm the one that has power. But, like, if you upset them, you're done.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the problem.
But here's my thing, though. This is why I don't, but, like, I know we're about to talk about the struggles, but this season, I don't feel bad for them, bro. I have
zero sympathy.
I don't feel bad for them, man. I mean, like, you're looking at all the pieces you let go for AD that is hurt right now and can't even stay healthy.
It's been the way his entire career, and they still haven't figured it out.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for the bubble, you know what I'm saying? Like, he is what he is. He just, like, even his time with New Orleans before, like, he got the injury, like, you know, bug started hitting him hard. He was a top 3 player, top 4 player.
His talent is a top 5 player.
He can be be the greatest power forward of all time.
But he ain't even a top 10 player in my eyes anymore, just because of injury history, but also his lackadaisical chooses like when he wants to play hard and other times he does.
And this is why I respect Bron, because you have Bron playing a center. He's playing center right now.
He's playing all 5 positions. At 37 years old, he just turned last month.
And you have someone 19. Like AD who was crying and complaining.
I don't want to play center.
I don't want to play big. That's not what I came here to do. Stuff like that. I don't know if he said that verbatimly, but still, like that's
the gist. He does not want to play the power. He doesn't want bully ball.
Yeah, he doesn't want to play the big. He doesn't
play a stretch.
He wants to play. He doesn't want to play the 5.
That's it.
And he wants to hit threes, play like a guard. That's soft. That's not gonna win you any games.
Exactly.
Your team isn't built like that. But anyways, I don't feel bad for this team because this team they brought in some pieces that just aren't good, and they cut ties with guys.
Malik Monk's been the only decent one so far.
Malik Monk's been good. Russell Westbrook has been atrocious.
I've been beating the table since 2016.
And I know you
and I didn't start doing any kind of social media like sports wise until 2019 May. So, but I've been saying since 2019, but really since 2016, but I have receipts since 2019 that Russell Westbrook is the most overrated superstar in the history of the game, and to an extent, to me, he's like disgraceful to the game of basketball for the level of respect and honors that he gets, I guess, across the league and through a lot of the media. And I know a lot of people, discredit a lot of what he does or scrutinize him. But I was one of the first damn people since 2016 saying this when the moment KD left on July 4th, 2016 and said I was going to Golden State and I was sitting in my room. I was like, that is on Russell Westbrook. You cannot win with this guy. And people were calling me crazy. And I was beating the table down. And I have stuck with that to this day. That is one thing I can say I have definitively called the last 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, I respect Russ. Like, I respect all these players.
I respect his hustle.
He's playing trash. He's
horrible.
I don't like his ideal style of play.
No.
And it's not going to work.
It's not going to work on any championship level team.
But what he does, triple doubles aren't easy to get. He makes it look easy. That. And the way he's adjusted and became the triple double god, I mean, he's going to cement himself in NBA history for the rest of his career.
He got the top 75 list.
He'll be known all time as Mr. Triple Double, right?
Absolutely.
But when it comes down to winning games, being efficient, you know what I'm saying, playing smart, playing with good basketball IQ, that's not him anymore. Even if it was,
it really wasn't ever him.
Yeah,
really,
but like his shot isn't falling.
No.
He's turning the ball over
way too much.
He's having more assists and turnovers at times, or just about the same. He's probably for every assist he has a turnover.
Yeah,
it's just like
I mean, his assist to turnover ratio is 2-1.
Yeah, bro, he's worse.
He's averaging 8.2, not even 2-1 technically. 8.2 assists per game, but 4.5 turnovers per game.
Bro, that's bad, man.
That is, atrocious. I mean, versus the Grizzlies the other night when they lost on NBA TV, he had 0 turnovers, and then a couple nights ago, I forget who they played, but he had 0 turnovers. That was the first time, I think, in 413 games, I think it was. Yeah. And it had been since 2012 it was. He hadn't had a turnover in a game. And that's why me and you have zero sympathy for what LeGM, LeBron, LeMickey, any nickname you want to give him.
Yeah. And another thing, too, when I was going back to the AD stuff, yes, you won a championship with AD, but it wasn't the future it wasn't the future that you envisioned because you look at the talent that you let go: Julius Randle, All-Star, Brandon
Jordan
Ingram, Clarkson, 6th Man of the Year,
Lonzo Ball.
I mean, these are all guys you let go for AD, and they're excelling. And you would have been so set up for the future a lot better if you would have just stuck with the game plan and just developed correctly. You know what I'm saying? But
I also understand when LeBron first got there. Obviously, he had that injury. They were the number 4 seed before he went down, and then he ended up coming back. But they were out of playoff contention by that. With all these young puppies, like I said, Ingram, Ball, Kuzma, etc. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the Lakers' mindset that, hey, look, we got LeBron James on our team. We're not playing around. We got to go and get some help. Mm-hmm. And they sure did that. They packaged Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball, everybody, Brandon Ingram, and some picks to go and get Anthony Davis, and that worked out for them. They ended up winning that championship in the bubble, and obviously they go and get Russell Westbrook this offseason, which I laughed at when they did because
terrible,
I know a lot of people were like, this is not going to work, but me being the biggest Russell Westbrook hater, I guess, ever. Mm-hmm. I just laugh because I'm like, I know this is not going to work, and sure enough, it's not. But Anthony Davis is just so damn underwhelming. I mean, his PER 23.3. He's averaging 10 rebounds a game, 23 points. But that is mediocre Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis should be giving you he especially with LeBron in year 19. AD healthy, and I understand he's not right now, should be giving you 30 and 15 every night. He's in the middle of his prime, and he should damn well be dominant, but he's not.
It's crazy because the main reason why the Lakers traded for AD, because we all know LeBron's going to fall off eventually, right? I don't know what's going to happen because he looks like he's playing better than ever right now.
By the way, he's not MVP, by the way, but go on.
Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Topic for another day.
But at this time, 3 to 4 seasons since that trade, this is supposed to be AD's the best player on this team.
Exactly. And then LeBron concedes to him, you're the franchise guy. Yeah. I'm just the guy who's going to be a second to you now.
There's no reason why LeBron
should be dominating
in year 4 of the Lakers or year 5, whatever long he's been there. 4. He should be the best player by a landslide now. Like it's by a huge margin. Without LeBron, they are nothing.
Yeah, literally. And you
couldn't even get AD Pelicans anymore. You can't even get like they could possibly be a 6 seed or a 5th seed.
Nope, they're sitting at a 7 seed right now, but that's not even impressive, right? They're 10 games back from the 1 seed, but seeds.
They have been playing good as of outside of the Memphis game. They were beating up on some bad teams, but they were winning some good games.
Seeds 7 through 11 in the West. So the Lakers through the Spurs, who currently sit at the 11 seed. Lakers are 10 games back from the number 1 seed. Spurs in the 11 seed are 15.5 games. So that's a 5.5 game differential, which really is not all that much. But even 7 through 9, so they could be in the play-in tournament. I believe they were last year. Were they not?
They were.
And they ended up. Yep, and then they played the Phoenix Suns. They're probably going to be a playing team again, and we might even see a Clippers versus Lakers play in. That would be actually crazy.
Man,
I think that would be.
I mean, PG back by then.
Look, they're gonna mop. They're gonna mop the Lakers.
That is one team I do not want to face in the playoffs.
Bro. Oh no, absolutely not. Coming from a Jazz fan, I have my own reservations, but I won't even get into that. But Westbrook, he's not. I mean, I don't even want to say he's the only problem. There's a lot of problems with this team. They're old. They don't have a lot of young guys on their team that are willing to. Yeah, exactly. That are actually willing to play defense on the perimeter. They don't have great interior defense, which it should be with Anthony Davis, but we know how he plays. And LeBron, even though he's playing, out of his mind, he's in year 19. He needs to reserve his legs for that postseason run, potentially, if they even make a postseason run. He needs to keep that in. But Russell Westbrook, the whole reason they kept him, or they wanted to acquire him, because the GM said so, is that, hey, look, if LeBron needs to take a night off, or just maybe not take it so difficult, Westbrook, you just kind of take over tonight. You do your thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But his PER is 15.5. Cole Anthony has a better player efficiency rating than Russell Westbrook. Yeah. Shooting 65% from the line. Your starting point guard for the LA Historic Lakers. Less than 30% from 3. 44% from the field. And like we said, 4.5 turnovers a game. He's running away with the total turnover margin. I think he has like a 30-plus differential on James Harden for number 2 as we speak right now.
I just don't see how this gets better for them, man. I mean,
it's not.
Maybe with Kendrick Nunn coming back, they can
that's definitely going to be an upgrade, but it's not going to be better, that much.
But he's not even a traditional guard. He's more of a shooting guard.
Yeah.
So they really only have one point guard as of right now, a true point guard in a sense of Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
THT's been inconsistent.
So he was supposed to take that step up this year, and he has not.
I mean,
he's just not that good with the ball in his hands now.
They just need some more shooting. They need someone that can be a floor general when LeBron's not on the floor. Someone that's efficient.
That's supposed to be Westbrook.
Yeah. I mean, they need to get AD help. They got a lot of things going on, man. I mean, luckily,
we know that they're
got
not
LeBron
going.
there, man. But
they're a one and done.
Yeah, they might not make the playoffs this year, man.
Because nobody's gonna trade for Westbrook.
Yeah, and they don't have any trade pieces. I see get Buddy Hill. You know what I'm saying?
Simmons. They could have had Buddy Hill.
Yeah.
Remember, Kyle Kuzma literally said, he was like, "Yo, I was on the phone, like, yo, I'm supposed to be flying out to Sacramento, like, I'm supposed," and then it was like, "Oh, whoa, hold up, like, I'm going to Washington, like, me and Montrez and KCP, like, we wasn't expecting this."
Yeah.
Why has Russell Westbrook been on 4 separate teams the last 4 years? Because you can't win with them.
You can't.
And it was clearly evident in OKC, and like I said, I was beating the table down for years and years and years. And you saw it again when OKC and Sam Presti traded for Paul George. You can't even make up the fact that a top 75 player in Russell Westbrook, the most overrated superstar in NBA history in my eyes, literally got bounced by a guy who looks like Jesus Christ, Ricky Rubio, and a rookie Donovan Mitchell. That is pathetic. Yeah. 4-2. They had home court advantage too, and Jazz won that series in 6. Yeah. OKC even took game 1, and Donovan Mitchell, murdered that team. And Ricky Rubio even put up a triple-double on Russell Westbrook. You can't make that stuff up. That within and itself.
Also, he's like one of the league's worst defenders as a point guard.
Yeah,
he can play defense
when he chooses to.
He just won the league worst statistically.
They got so many problems on that team. And Russell Westbrook's just the front.
They're in trouble, man. Because I think LeBron might jump ship. I think he might try to go back.
He's not leaving Hollywood. He's not. He's comfortable in Hollywood. He lives in LA, bro. He got money for the. Look, I would love to see LeBron go somewhere else at this point because Disney and Westbrook ain't cutting it. Yeah. But his contract's up though. This is the last year of his contract.
LeBron?
Yeah, you know, I mean.
Oh, it is? I thought he signed an extension.
Did he? I mean, I don't remember this. Let me see this. Hold up. No way. I remember
I think
LeBron signing that
last year.
Oh, yeah, he did sign an extension.
Yeah, so
he signed one through 2023.
Okay, so next year will be his last season.
Yeah, through 2023. Okay, so it might be. Because when he had... Okay, yeah. Because originally, I think it was... Yeah, the extension was a 2-year, $85 million contract extension.
They just have to somehow... And you kind of just wish that Russell Westbrook was playing a little better, man. But they just got to somehow find a way to trade Russ before the deadline.
It's not happening. Nobody's taking him.
But here's my thing. All right, if you can't trade Russ, bro, you might have to trade AD.
You know LeBron's not going to sign off on that.
I mean...
Look, if I
would say you trade AD for someone like Damian Lillard, but I think Damian Lillard may be done for the season.
Not even just that, bro. Like, you're not getting any kind of comparable compensation back. What tradable assets do the Lakers have that is not LeBron or AD? Let's keep this real. Like an actual trade commodity that 29 other teams would be like, oh yeah, let me get that guy.
I think you can package up THT.
With what? His value's decreased.
THT... Damn, you need Malik Monk now.
What picks? They ain't got no picks.
They ain't got no picks. Not that I know of. I mean, they in bad shape.
That's what I'm saying.
They in bad shape.
Think about this. There was only one contender in the NBA out of every single contender that wanted Russell Westbrook. Put that into perspective. Yeah. Do you think Steph Curry would want to play with Russell Westbrook?
Man,
hell no. You think Giannis? You think Donovan Mitchell? You think any of these guys want to play with Russell? Hell no, they don't. No. So Lakers got a lot of work to do. 10 games back from the 1 seed, but I mean, even the 5 seeds within 2.5 games right now of them, but they're only.
I tell you one team who could possibly trade for him. I doubt it though, but
who? Russ?
Yeah.
Who?
The New York Knicks.
Knicks would only do that to sell tickets, but they already sell tickets. The Knicks can go out and win 10 games of the season. They're still going to sell out Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, they can.
They're not going to do that.
They could possibly sell them.
What would they want? Kemba?
Kemba, probably like...
Poor man's Kyrie.
Mitchell Robinson.
Mitch would be nice, but I don't know if they're giving up Mitch.
I'm trying to think what's they got over
Kevin
there.
Knox ain't worth nothing.
Kevin Knox, that'd be the 3.
He ain't nothing, bro.
That'd be the 3.
Bro, I go school Kevin Knox right now.
Nah, you crazy, man. You crazy. Kevin Knox is a bucket. He'll get a bucket.
He ain't nothing, bro.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Ben Simmons?
No, we're gonna get into Ben Simmons next.
Oh, okay. I think never mind. I saw the last page. Okay, cool.
No. Ben Simmons is next.
Okay, cool.
That's the last topic. I know we briefly said like, oh yeah, we'll talk about the Sixers. We'll talk about Simmons. So we're gonna get into Ben Simmons now. All this drama off season. Last time we seen Ben Simmons on the court, Game 7, Eastern Conference semifinals, Atlanta Hawks series. Trae Young. I mean, not only did he just son the Knicks, and I mean in a big time way. He sunned that Sixers franchise in another big-time way. But obviously, Danilo Gallinari, Kevin Huerter, those guys came through, I mean, super clutch in Game 7 in Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. I still think that wasn't a Cinderella run. I think Atlanta is still a good team when healthy. But Ben Simmons, man, showed his true colors in that series. In the fourth quarter, in that Atlanta series in the conference semifinals, in the fourth quarter, here were his field goal attempts. Game 1, 2 for 2. Game 2, 0 for 0. Game 3, 1 for 1. And then games 4 through 7, 0 field goal attempts, so 0 makes. The guy was pitiful. Mm-hmm. We saw, obviously, the pass underneath the rim. He didn't want to dunk on Trae Young. He was too scared to go to the free throw line. He passed it up. Thibault gets fouled. And the Hawks ended up taking that series. Mm-hmm. What do the Sixers do with Ben Simmons? What is going on with Ben Simmons? Are they going to be able to trade package him before February 10th, that trade deadline? Mm-hmm. Anything. What's going on?
I think they will.
You think Daryl Morey's going to finally get that deal he wants? Yeah. Because he's been holding out. He wants something good.
Because I don't know where, but I saw today there was a report that they're going to try to package up Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris. I don't know how you're going to let $80 million.
No way.
But shoot,
that had to be a 3 or 4 team deal at that point.
NBA is, man, a lot of these teams got not free money, but like imaginary money. You know what I'm saying? There's not really no cap.
It's not a hard cap league like the NFL.
Yeah, so
it's like Tampa Bay. Like, how the hell are they getting all that money? Spend all those players.
The Saints.
Saints too. Yeah. Like, bro, how are they trading for?
They gonna find the money somewhere, bro. I think Ben Simmons will definitely be traded before the deadline.
Okay. What teams do you think would be a fit for him? What players do you think would be a good fit in Philadelphia that's realistic?
I'm looking at the Kings because the Kings are looking to
Tyrese Halliburton,
Halliburton and De'Aaron Fox. duo.
Yeah.
One of them potentially could dip a swap for Ben Simmons.
I don't know why Sacramento would be high on him compared
Boston.
to Fox, but they already said they're not breaking up JB and Tatum. They already said that they weren't.
Those are two good.
They're just not going to work together.
Yeah, they're not going to work together.
They're like Dame and CJ, but like a tad bit
forward versions.
Yeah, forward versions. Yeah, exactly. You know, because Tatum can play a 4. You know, JB can play the 2 and 3. But they're so talented. The problem with that Celtics team's always just been though that they don't have pieces around them. But I mean, look, that Sacramento one, that's definitely been one that's been thrown around. You know, I think the ideal situation, at least for me, I don't know how realistic it is because Daryl Morey is very stubborn when it comes to getting a right package deal for Ben Simmons, is Dallas. I think Dallas not only has intriguing pieces that, you know, Philadelphia could feel like, okay, we get some pieces around Embiid because Embiid's window's not long. He's like Anthony Davis, hella injury prone, but he's 10 times.
He's a dog.
He's a dog, and that man will.
Best center in the league, arguably first if you want to debate with him.
Nah, he's second. Jokic better, but Embiid is a force of nature. I mean, he's a great, talented player. So I think, I mean, they'd have to give. Obviously, you're not giving up Luka. You're giving up KP, which I know is another big, but he's a different kind of big. You still play some good perimeter and interior defense alongside Embiid. If Embiid gets down, you can feel good having Porzingis, you know, and if you want to give up, I don't know, Tim Hardaway Jr., maybe a pick, maybe Jalen Brunson, Dorian Finney-Smith. I mean, they've got some solid pieces that I think should be at least be enticing enough to acquire him. And I think, Ben Simmons alongside Luka, I think that pairing makes the most sense to me because, I mean, if you put him in Sacramento, right, let's say you give up Fox, whatever Sacramento's willing to give up, what other pieces are there in Sacramento that's like, yeah, that I know they got Davion Mitchell, but I mean that's another guard.
They want to go through another rebuild.
Marvin Bagley, that's starting another rebuild, which, you know, I feel for Sacramento. We feel for Sacramento fans. We're Jaguar fans, okay? You know, and I'm a Magic fan too, so I get it. I get constantly having the young guys on your team, but I don't. There is no one perfect scenario. And I know they talked about John Collins too. I don't see that.
Ben Simmons and Trae Young would be very nice.
That would be nice too, and I get that. They play a great small ball lineup. You put Simmons at the 4.
I would like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you're still able to keep, because I'm big on Cam Reddish. I know he still kind of underperformed since coming into the league. I think he's got still some serious untapped potential that, you know, Nate McMillan hasn't found yet. But if they're able to keep Cam, Trae, and Ben Simmons, that small ball lineup, possibly Herter, you know, Danilo, Clint Capella, I mean, whatever they want to run. Like that is a solid, scary lineup.
That is a scary lineup.
But
that's some solid defense.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. If you talked about Trae Young, I talked about Luka. Guys got traded for each other. So I think Simmons would fit very nicely along those guys. And I mean, Luka just takes over in playoff games, and we've seen it too with Trae. So Simmons just can't be the primary ball handler come playoff time. And
I think he can.
Not the
he doesn't need to be the
handler.
primary scorer. Like, he doesn't need to be like, oh, you kind of want him to be a scorer, bro, because this is some dude. He can. He's done it before. He shot 42 in a game
versus my Utah Jazz.
Yeah, he can do it.
Yeah,
it's all about the mindset,
but he doesn't got
and the
that
confidence. This dude can give you 15, or I say 18
and 12 any given night.
12 and 8 any given night.
He could average a triple double too if he wanted.
People forget this is an all-star.
Yeah, 3-time all-star.
Wasn't he an all-NBA as well? Third team?
Yes. And then
first team defense?
He's been first team defense, I think, 3 times now.
This is, okay, people got to remember, man. I know a lot of people trying to downplay Ben Simmons because of what we saw last time, man. But
shooting is such a big deal.
Shooting is terrible.
It's a very big deal.
But this dude is a force.
Yeah. So he's 2017-18, obviously Rookie of the Year, Sophomore of the Year because I'm a Donovan Mitchell fan. 2017-18 All-Rookie, 2019-2020 All-NBA team, 3-time All-Star, 2019-2020 Steals champion, and 2-time All-Defensive player.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Rudy Gobert, he'd probably be Defensive Player of the Year in one of them years.
Yeah, he probably, because, I mean, Gobert's won 3 out of the last 4 years. Giannis won one of them because after Gobert won back-to-back, they didn't want to give him to him a 3rd straight year. That obviously Rudy won last year, too.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Rudy, Ben would have won last year.
Ben would have won last year had Rudy Gobert not won.
Yeah. So this is a great player, man.
He's a phenomenal player.
And that's why Daryl Morey is not like believing into like he's not following what the media says. He knows what he has.
Exactly.
This guy is a franchise cornerstone. He's only 26 years old. Like this dude, he's still legit.
Exactly. The NBA insider Mark Stein even reported just a couple of days ago that the 76ers' number one priority is still retaining Ben Simmons. And to an extent, I understand that his skin is way too thin. He's way too fragile. And it's really about that mindset, especially playing in a big city like Philadelphia that expects greatness from their players. But that's only going to increase his trade value because, like I said when we first started talking about Ben Simmons, the last time we seen him on the court was a disgrace.
Mm-hmm. It was.
In that Game 7. And it was the entire series.
Yeah, it was.
So his value significantly dropped. Daryl Morey understands that he has a cornerstone piece and a legit piece in Philadelphia, and that's why he's not just going to give up, little to nothing to get him. So, I think Atlanta or Dallas is the best ideal situation for him. Everyone's talking about De'Aaron Fox. I'm sure Fox is going to want out of Sacramento sooner than later, but I don't know if they're able to get that deal done. Is there a possibility Ben Simmons doesn't get traded by the deadline and Daryl Morey can't find
definitely.
compensation? Because honestly, I don't think he's going to get traded. Not because Daryl Morey doesn't want to. I think he wants to get his value, and if he's not going to get it, Simmons is under contract. You got no authority.
Yeah.
You got no power on me.
Yeah,
so
most definitely. You got, like you said, no power, no authority. My 76ers are winning, so we're not in dire need of making a trade. We just want to trade you to do right by us and do right by you. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get traded, man. I mean, this is an ongoing thing. This sucks for Ben Simmons because he's losing a lot of money. He's all, I guess he racked up
wasn't that report coming out? He was going bankrupt because he's spending money on new cars.
I don't know if he's going bankrupt.
He said he was losing a lot of money though.
He's definitely losing a lot of money, man. I mean, I think he's like 10, like over like $50K in fines, something like that. I don't know.
It was something ridiculous like that, man. And I remember, oh my god, it drove me up a wall when he reported at training camp before Doc Rivers kicked him out, and he had a phone in his pocket. Whoo, that me being a fan, especially I can only imagine, Philly fans. Oh, that would drive me crazy. Seeing a guy who was a first round pick, guy you were supposed to take over this franchise alongside Embiid, and you have he is not. Tell me one area he has continuously grown in since entering the league. He hasn't. If anything, he's regressed. If anything, he has regressed from his rookie season. Man,
I just think that we're taking that one series, and it was a bad series. It was a bad series, but I wouldn't say he's regressed. He's just.
Are we sure about that? Are we sure he has not regressed since entering the league? He was hurt his entire rookie year. That's why he was a red shirt rookie, quote unquote.
I mean, he came into the league, and people compared him to Magic Johnson.
LeBron.
Did he not look like Magic Johnson out there?
He plays like Magic Johnson and LeBron.
Yeah.
He's just as fast and as strong. And
he's 6'10", can do whatever he wants with the ball besides shoot.
Correct.
If he could just be a mid-range scorer or someone like even be a consistent free throw shooter, because I think it's like Giannis. If he needs to look at what Giannis did.
Giannis actually puts the work in, and Giannis actually has the right mindset. He's got the immigrant mindset of when you come to America as an immigrant, you got to make it, right? Like that's facts, though.
I ain't gonna lie, Giannis does.
Giannis is a dog, and also everyone loves Giannis because he's a hardworking guy. He's actually funny, and he's got a good character. Yeah. Ben Simmons is a stuck-up, privileged guy who thinks he deserves everything, and he's entitled. That's exactly what it is.
I don't know Ben Simmons' person, so I don't want to say
he's entitled.
But I would say, if you look at what Giannis did, it's like, damn, why Ben Simmons can do this?
He should be on the same level as Giannis.
Maybe not score 27 a game, of course, because scoring's never been his thing. But he's bulked up like Giannis.
Correct.
He's about the same size as Giannis. He can facilitate better than Giannis. He can defend just as good as Giannis.
Just as good, yep.
He can
do just about everything
he's
Giannis
probably
can
just
do.
as fast. He can athletic. He can everything. He dribbles better than Giannis. I mean, he
better
can
handle everything.
Look at what Giannis did, bro. And it's like, bro, you can average 22, 23 a game
if you wanted to,
and be a sub 73% free throw shooter.
Yeah,
just put it. I just don't get it. But I mean, it's a mindset thing.
Yeah, but. Because he's never shot better than 61% from the line in this entire career in any season. Boy. So look, tell me this isn't regressing, because I think he's regressed or not gotten better, however you want to put it.
Okay.
Since entering the league, 2017-18 is his first season actually playing. He played 81 games that year. and he won Rookie of the Year. In his quote-unquote rookie year, because, I'm salty because I'm a Jazz fan, 15.8 points per game, shot 54% from the field, and 8.2 assists per game. So very solid and productive sophomore season in my eyes. Last year, 2020-2021, 14.3 points per game, shot 55%, so 1% better from the field. And his assist per game was at 6.9. Mm-hmm. He's never shot better than 61% at the free throw line, and his career average is 59%. If you are as the accolades we listed off, 2-time All-Defensive Player, 3-time All-Star, etc., you were a top lottery pick, and you're playing alongside Joel Embiid, there should be zero excuses as to why you have played so poorly or you have not shown any form of a significant jump since entering the league. I
mean, if you look at it like that, then I would say like he's just a more athletic, taller version of Draymond.
That's why the Warriors wanted him. I would totally.
Yeah, I mean,
imagine him on your Warriors. Bro, that would be stupid if he was on the Warriors.
I'm glad Wiggins start taking off because the spacing.
He would have been on the block. Yeah.
But I mean, that's just really just a more athletic, taller, can score a little more faster. Draymond,
better handle.
And do you want that as a first overall pick? Not really, still, like, I feel like
that's on them.
Yeah,
that's on them.
I don't know. I mean, I'm a big fan of Ben. Like, I know this offseason has killed him, but like I said, he's no Donovan Mitchell. He's no Tatum.
Yeah, no.
But it's okay because
go ahead.
Real
quick though. Talk because you brought it up. Who's better, Donovan or Tatum?
Ooh.
I mean, I'm biased, but I think Donovan's shown more.
I've seen Donovan do some strange things in the playoffs, and in strange I mean good. I mean, this dude is playing.
He's number 4 in NBA history in terms of playoff points per game.
Trust me, I bet he's
Michael, Jerry West, Allen Iverson, and KD.
When it comes to the playoffs, he's a dog.
That boy is an MVP in the playoffs.
Yeah, but in the regular season, he's just so up and down.
He's an all-star.
Yeah, all-star for sure. But Tatum, man, this season Tatum has been a little up and down.
I don't even know who's the more skilled. I don't even just mean this year. I just mean in general. If you'd be like, hey, yo, that guy, I think Donovan's shown more.
Man, I'm trying
Nothing against Tatum. I think Tatum is a phenomenal.
Overall, are we talking just like no accolades, just straight player, just straight skill set?
Just like, hey, yo. Like, if we're playing pickup and you have first pick.
I'm picking Tatum.
You picking Tatum? I'm picking Donovan.
I mean,
like I said, I'm a little biased, but I think...
He's 6'9" and...
Compared to 6'3".
Does whatever he wants.
I mean, he does. Especially in the post, man. That got nasty. But,
oh, my God.
I mean...
I like Mitch, though. I like Mitch.
Yeah. But last thing I'll say about the Simmons, though, is... You know, the argument a couple years ago, even before that playoff series, and we're not even just talking last year, we're not even talking about, like, pre-COVID, was... Is Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid going to work together? And especially because we all understand... Ben Simmons will not shoot. He's not a good shooter. Who are they going to... If they're not going to win a championship together, they got to pick one or the other. And obviously, it's going to be Embiid now.
Yeah, that's
but
Embiid's team.
I made the argument that it should have been Ben Simmons because, A, you got to worry about the injury history of Joel Embiid, even though Simmons has had his fair share of injuries as well. But also, you can build a Giannis-like team around Simmons because of their skill sets. But also, if you just... Take Embiid out, right? And obviously you get good competition for it. And you just put a bunch of shooters around Ben Simmons, that opens up the lane for him to drive, kick, do whatever you want. Especially if you get a good coach around him, like a Jason Kidd or like a Budenholzer, because he was the one that actually got Giannis to play in the way he does in that system. Like,
and
he's a poor man's Giannis.
He really is.
He really
and that's why I say, like,
he's a poor man's LeBron.
Yeah, you can
without
really
the jumper.
You can really look at Giannis and say, like, man, like this is you can do this.
Untapped potential.
It's not hard. It is hard to do, but you can do it. Like we thought that Giannis was always going to be like
skinny.
He's never going to get over it.
Yeah,
he's just
he's
never
getting over that. He's never getting over that playoff hump. Especially because do you know how much criticism he got in 2019 when Kawhi beat him? And people were talking like, oh, Giannis and them will never get over that. And then they went and lost in the bubble. And then it was like, oh, they lost to the Heat. Giannis ain't good enough. Like the Bucks are always going to be a good regular season team. They'll never come through in the playoffs. And guess what they did? Yeah. Granted, we talked earlier. KD had that toe on the line.
Yes,
but nonetheless. Giannis came out there and dropped 50. 50 in a closeout one
of the greatest finals performance we've ever seen.
Ever.
Man. He was putting up Jordan and Shaq numbers in the finals.
He was into his third playoff postseason where people were writing the Bucks off automatically, no matter what, because they're just a regular season team, and that's how I'm feeling about Phoenix and Utah right now too. Granted, both teams got to be healthy. I know Phoenix made it last year. People just gonna write them off and talk Golden State. Golden State should still be the favorites to come out of the West. Let me be clear about that. But the West is gonna be a dogfight nonetheless. Memphis coming up, but yeah, man.
One more thing I gotta say about the Tatum and Ben Simmons and Donovan Mitchell thing.
What's up?
That trio. I mean, we looked at it when it happened. Like this team, this can be the new Flash, LeBron, and Melo.
Yeah,
you know.
And Wade. They all came in at
once.
Wade also. Yeah.
So it just could be the new Wade, Bron, and Melo.
Donovan
still
is D Wade. Yeah, Donovan is literally D Wade.
Tatum is Melo.
Tatum is Melo, and LeBron is Simmons is LeBron. Yeah.
It still can be, but man, I mean,
untapped. And he's 25, man.
He's still young, man.
But like I said, it really just comes down to that mindset, and it's if he's willing to make changes and to also not be so thin-skinned. He's never playing in the Sixers uniform again, which I don't blame him.
He's done.
But
they done burn bridges.
Can you imagine the day he gets that first game back as a road player? Oh, they going to boo him.
He's burn bridges.
I mean, it is going to be bad, but we'll see. But, hey, man, great talk today, man, on the podcast today. Definitely love to have you back as always, man. And, I'd like to thank my boy Darien for coming on here today. If you want to say something real quick.
Yeah, most definitely. Darien Chill on Instagram, on Twitter, Chill Takes _ on Twitter, Chill Takes on Instagram. You can follow Chill Takes on TikTok as well. It's like my biggest platform right now. But yes, I appreciate you, Brett. I had a great time, and I definitely want to do this again. You can do this again all the time if you want.
Absolutely,
to. That was a great talk.
Yeah, absolutely, and man, I think we're both really excited though, not just about NBA like we talked about today and the NFL matchups coming up, but just I think the future of where we're going. Personally, he's growing, insurmountably on TikTok. From the time I came across him on TikTok, his numbers were just through the roof, before my very eyes. And he's got great content. All of his socials and links will be down. I will put those there as well. And same thing with mine. If you guys don't know me on YouTube, Brett James, the Brett James 1 on Twitter and on Instagram. Like I said, everything will be in the socials as well and in the descriptions. But man, we both got some great things coming for us. Hopefully these podcasts can keep staying up every single Friday. These podcasts will be coming out. So thank you guys for tuning into the very first episode. Thank you again, Darien, and just want to leave y'all with the last note. Don't overthink it.